Hello and welcome to my senior capstone project from my Bachelor's of Fine Arts program here at Wichita State University. My name is Julian Cornejo and I'm so honored and pleased to have you all here tonight. We've got some great theater here for you today, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Up first, I've got two pieces. The first is Fat Cat Killers by Adam Simkowitz, followed by a piece from School of Husbands by Moliere. I would like to call on the leniency of the jury, not because I didn't know what I was doing. I knew what I was doing. Although, please keep in mind it wasn't actually me who killed Dave. I didn't shoot at anyone or anything. I just helped with the kidnapping. I may be an accessory to murder, but a minor accessory, like, what's a minor accessory? Like a barrette. It's true I helped keep him hostage, but I had a good reason for my actions. Revenge. Revenge is, I believe, a good reason to do things. It may get you arrested, but my hope is that you, my peers, understand and appreciate the importance of revenge and will be lenient on me. Because when it comes down to it, all my actions were motivated by revenge. When you take away a man's ability to support himself, don't you expect him to fight back? And so I did. Murder may have been too strong a way to fight back, but I hope that you will understand my impulses, if not the severity of my actions. Thank you. No, I tell you, they made me a doctor in spite of myself. I never dreamt of being so learned as that, and all my studies come to an end in the lowest of forms. I can't imagine what put that whim in their heads, but when I saw they were resolved to force me to be a doctor, I made up my mind to be one at the expense of those I might have to do it with. Yet, I would hardly believe how the error had spread abroad, and how everyone is obstinately determined to see a great doctor in me. They come to fetch me from right and left, and if things go in that fashion, I'd better stick to physic all my life. I find it the best of trades, for whether we are right or wrong, we are paid equally well. We are never responsible for the bad work, and we can cut away as we please on the stuff we work on. A shoemaker in making shoes cannot spoil a scrap of leather without having to pay for it, but we can spoil a man without paying 1 farthing for the damages done. The blunders are not ours, and the fault is always that of the dead man. In short, the best part of the profession is that there exists among the dead an honesty, a discretion that nothing can surpass, and never has one been known to complain of the doctor who killed him. Up next, we have a piece from Neil Simon's Rumors, followed by a piece from Assassins by Stephen Sondheim. Let's see the story. As it happened, as I remember it, as I'm telling it. Oh God. Here goes. At exactly 6 o'clock this evening, I arrived home from work. My wife Myra was getting ready in the dressing room upstairs. I grabbed a bottle of champagne and headed to the upstairs. Rosita, our Spanish cook, was in the kitchen with Ramona, her Spanish sister, and Romero, her Spanish son. They were preparing an Italian dinner, and they were waiting for Myra to tell them when to get started. As I climbed the stairs, I thought to myself, this is my 10th wedding anniversary, and I can't believe I still love my wife so much. Myra was putting on the perfume I bought her for Christmas. I purposely buy her that perfume because it drives me wild. I tapped on the door. Tap, tap, tap. She opens it. I hand her a glass of champagne. I make a toast. To the most beautiful wife a man ever had for 10 years. She said, to the most beautiful man and the best 10 years a wife ever had. We drink, we kiss, we toast. Again, I say to the loveliest skin on the loveliest body that has never aged a day in 10 wonderful years. She toasts to the gentlest hands that ever stroked the loveliest skin on the loveliest body that's never aged a day in 10 wonderful years. We drink, we kiss, we toast. By 7 o'clock, the bottle is gone, my wife is sloshed, and I'm completely toasted. That's when I smell the perfume. The perfume I could never resist. And I loved her at that moment with as much passion and ardor as the night we were first newlyweds. I tell you this, not an embarrassment, but in a pride and joy and a love that grows stronger as each new day passes. We lay there, spit, complete in our own happiness. It is now 8 o'clock and it has grown dark outside. Suddenly, a gentle knock at the door. Knock, knock, knock. The door opens, and a strange young man is looking down at us with a knife. Myra screams. I run to the gun in my drawer. Myra grabs a towel and shields herself. I run back to the pistol, ready to save my wife's life, and the strange young man says to me in Spanish, Yo quita diablo en enchilada en quiso un cada momento. But I didn't speak Spanish, and I'd never seen Rosita's son Romero before. I didn't know that the knife was there to cut up the salad. He was just asking when they should start dinner now. So I aimed the gun at him. Myra screams and pulls my arm back, and the gun goes off and shoots me in the earlobe. Rosita's son Romero runs downstairs to tell Rosita and Ramona, "Mamacita, mira queso and hambre and omelette and que loca and que bang bang!" The crazy man took a shot at me. So Rosita, Ramona, and Romero leave in a huff. My earlobe is bleeding all over Myra's new dress. And suddenly we hear a car pull up. It's our first guest! Myra grabs a bathrobe to run downstairs to stop Rosita, Ramona, and Romero. Otherwise, we'd have no dinner, but they've already left in their Alfa Romeo. I look out the window, but it's dark, and I think somebody's trying to steal my beautiful old Mercedes, so I take a shot at them. Myra runs downstairs to the basement where we keep the dresses. She's looking for the dress that she wore for Bonds for Israel. She can't find the light, trips downstairs, and knocks herself out. I run downstairs looking for Myra, see that the basement is unopened, and afraid that the young man will come back, I shut it, lock it, and run upstairs to take 4 aspirin because my earlobe is killing me. But by mistake, I get blood in my eyes and take 4 Valium by mistake. And I can hear the guests downstairs, and I want to tell them to look for Myra, but I suddenly can't talk because of the Valium. So I write a note. But I'm afraid that the note starts to look like a suicide note, and my friend Glenn Cooper was coming, and it would be very bad for his campaign to be mixed up with a suicide. So I tear it up and flush it down the toilet. But then they come at me and they're asking me what happened, but I can't talk because of the Valium, and I pass out. And that's the whole goddamn story if my name isn't Charlie Brock. Hello, Mr. Brunstein? Lenny? My name is Sam Beck. We've never met. On account that you're a world-renowned composer and conductor, and I'm an out-of-work tire salesman. It's not very surprising. But I would hope that you would take some time out of your very busy schedule to listen to this tape that you've just opened up in the mail. If you don't want to listen to it right now, I suppose you could listen to it tonight. God damn, I love that song. You know, what a melody. What a sentiment, Lenny. Tonight, I'll meet my love tonight. Where is she, Lenny? Can you give me a hint? Lenny, you are a modest kind of guy. But if you'll indulge me for just a few minutes, I have something to say from the heart. You are a genius. You are. Do you know why, Lenny? Because you got the ear. You can make them listen, Lenny. Nobody listens. Are you listening? Nobody listens. Well, I suppose if you are hearing this right now, right? So, with all due respect, referring to your statue in the music world, classical and semi-classical, I would like to offer you a piece of advice. And I know what you're thinking. Who the hell is this Sam Beck guy with his fat ass and his outfit to give me, some shit hot person, with some advice? But please, and it comes from my own unwillingness and compromise my principles and to kiss ass, like some people I could mention. That has cost me the principles of so-called good life that others enjoy so freely. So be it, Lenny. So be it. Fuck me, fuck you! But Lenny, listen to this piece of advice. I'm a true fan. Forget the long-haired shit and write what you write best. Love songs, Lenny, tonight. Maria, tender melodies to cherish for a lifetime. Timeless strands to linger in the memory and in the heart. Love, Lenny, that's what the world needs most. Sweet love. Love makes the world go round. No, not exactly. Bullshit makes the world go round. But you knew that, didn't you? This world is a vicious, stinking pit of loneliness and pain. But not for long. I'm going to change things, Lenny. I'm going to drop a 747 on the White House and incinerate Dick Nixon. I'm going to be on the news, and you're going to hear about it. And you're going to think to yourself, what kind of world is it where a stand-up, decent guy like Sam Beck has to crash a plane into the president to make a point? And you're going to think about it, and you're going to wonder if you want to live in that world like that. And I'll tell you, Lenny, you do. And you want to know why? So you can keep writing love songs, Lenny. It's a gorgeous world out there full of unicorns and waterfalls and puppy dogs. And you're going to save it. Through your God-given talent, you can save the world, Lenny. So what you waiting for? Save it. Is that too much to ask? Oh, and when you hear about my death, you're going to wonder if there's anything that you could have done. Lenny, you did everything you could. Well, not everything. I mean, not exactly everything. You picked up the phone just once, called me, said, "Hey, Sammy, hang in there, pal. This bud's for you." How long could that have taken? A minute? Half a minute? Nah. You were too busy. You and your shit-hot friends probably double parking your limo somewhere, trying to catch a plane to Paris, France. For dinner and a blowjob. Yeah, I understand. I understand all too well. You're just like the rest of them. Jonas Stahl, Jack Anderson, Hank Aaron. Y'all knew where I was, and you knew what you did, and you just sat there, and you left me here. You shits, you pricks, you jerks. You left me there, and you didn't give me a chance. You know goddamn know it. Fuck me, fuck you, Lenny. I'm out of here. I'm history, baby. History. I'd like to be in America. Okay, by me in America. Knobs on the doors in America. Walls on the floors in America. We have a scene from Medea by Euripides with the beautiful and talented Muta Santana Morales. Then we have a scene from One Man, Two Governors by Richard Bean with the equally beautiful and talented T.J. Wade. It's not the first time I've observed how harsh a temper can make things worse. And possibly so. It happened often. You could have stayed here in this land and in this house if only you'd agreed with the arrangements and showed some patience with those in command. Now you're exiled for your stupid chatter. Not that I care, and you don't have to stop calling Jason the worst man in the world. But when you speak against the rulers here, consider yourself very fortunate that exile is your only punishment. I've always tried to mollify the king. He has a vicious temper, and have you stay. But you just would not stop with this silly rage, always slandering the royal house. That is why you've got to leave the country. Anyway, I won't neglect my family. I've come here, woman, looking out for you, so you won't be thrown out with the children in total need and lacking everything. Exile brings with it all sorts of hardships. Although you may well despise me now, I could never have bad feelings for you.
As a man, you're the worst there is. That's all I'll say about you. No trace of manhood. You come to me now? You come at this point when you've turned into the worst enemy of the gods and me and the whole human race? It isn't courage or firm resolution to hurt your family and then confront them face to face, but a total lack of shame. The greatest of all human sicknesses. But you did well to come, for I will speak. I'll unload my heart, describe your evil, you listen. I hope you're heard by what I say. I'll begin my story at the very start. I saved your life. Every Greek who sailed with you on board that ship, the Argo, can confirm it. When you'd been sent to bring under the yoke the fire-breathing bulls and then to sow the fields of death. And I killed the dragon guard in the golden fleece. Coiled up there, staying on watch and never going to sleep. For you, I raised the light which rescued you from death. I left my father and my own home on my own and came with Eurolocus beneath Mount Pelion. My love for you was greater than my wisdom. Then I killed Peleus in the most agonizing way, at the hands of his own daughters, and demolished his household. All of it. Now, after I've done all this to help you, you brute, you betray me and help yourself to some new wife. And we have children. You don't understand why you're so keen on marrying this girl if you had no children. But what about the promises you made? I don't know if you think the ancient gods still govern, or if new regulations have recently been put in place for men. But you must know you've broken faith with me. By this right hand which you've often held, and by my knees at which you've often begged, it was all for nothing to be touched like that by such a worthless man. I've lost all hope. But come now. I'll sort things out with you as if you were a friend. No idea what sort of kindness to expect from you, but let us see. The things I'll ask will make you look even more disgraceful. Where do I turn now? To my father's house? For your sake, I betrayed my country to come here with you. Then should I go to Peleus' daughters in their misery? But surely welcome me with open arms, since I killed their father. That's how things stand. To my family, I'm now an enemy. And by assisting you, I've declared war on people I had no need to injure. For all the ways I've helped you, you made me, in the eyes of many wives in Greece, a lucky woman, blessed in many things. But what a wonderful and trusting husband I have in you now. In my misfortune, if I go into exile, leave this land, with no friends, all alone, abandoned with my abandoned children. And for you, what a fine report for a bridegroom. His children wandering around like vagabonds with the very woman that saved his life. Oh, Zeus, why did you give men certain ways to recognize false gold when there's no mark, no token stamped on the human body to indicate which men are worthless?
Woman, it seems only to give you good reasons, and like a skilled helmsman on a ship, haul in my sails and run before the storm blowing from your raving tongue. In my view, you overestimate your favors to me. I consider Aphrodite the only one of gods or mortal men who saved my expedition. As for you, well, you've a subtle mind. But if I told you how Eros, with his unerring arrows, forced me to save you, I could injure you, so I won't press the matter very far. However, you helped me, and you did it well. But by saving me, you got in return more than you ever gave, as I will demonstrate. First of all, you now live among the Greeks, not in a country of barbarians. You are familiar with justice and laws rather than brute force. Besides, all of Greeks know you're clever, so you've earned yourself a fine reputation. If you still live out there on the boundary of the world, no one would talk about you. And great fame, I'd sooner have the houses filled with gold, or the power to sing sweet melodies sweeter than the songs of Orpheus. That is my response to you about my labors. Remember, you started this war of words. As for your complaints about my marriage, I'll show you that I am being wise and very moderate and friendly to you and my children. You must have patience, for when I came here from the land of Lollicus, I brought with me many troubles, hard ones, things impossible for me to deal with. What greater good fortune could I have found than marrying the daughter of a king, me, an exile? On the point that irks you, it is not the case that I hated our marriage bed, overcome with some lust for some new bride, nor am I keen to rival other men in the number of many children. I have enough and I'm not complaining. The most important thing for us to do is to live well and not in poverty, knowing that everyone avoids a friend once he's a pauper. As for my children, I want to raise them in the proper way, one worthy of my houses, and to have brothers from children from you, and to make them the same. Thus, with the united family, I might prosper. Do you need more children? In my case, there may be some benefit to have new children to help those already born. Wasn't that a bad scheme? You agreed with me. But if you weren't so upset about the sex, but you women are so idiotic. If you think everything is fine in bed, you have all you need. But if the sex is bad, then all your very best and finest things make you your enemies. What mortals need is some way to get our children. We ought to have no female sex, and then all men would be rid of all their troubles.
I'm very different from many others in all sorts of ways. In my opinion, the unjust man who speaks so plausibly brings on himself the harshest punishment. Since he's sure his tongue can hide injustice, he dares anything. But he's not that clever. You should not parade before me now your clever words and spacious reasoning. One word demolishes your argument. If you were not corrupt, you'd ask me first. Get my consent to undertake this marriage. But you did not even tell your family.
Oh yes, if I had told you about the wedding, I'm sure you would have lent me fine support. Even now, you can't set aside that immense rage in your heart.
You're lying. You thought as you grew old, a barbarian wife would bring you disrespect.
Get this straight. This royal bride I did not marry her because of any other woman. As I told you, I wanted to save you and have children, royal princes with the same blood as my sons. That way my house has more security.
May I never want a merely prosperous life, accepting pain, or great wealth at the expense of happiness here in my heart.
Do you think you could change that prayer and sound more sensible? You should not consider this advantage painful or pretend to be so wrecked when things are going well for you.
Keep up the insults. You have your refugee. I'm alone and banished from this country.
That's what you've chosen! The blame rests with you!
What did I do? Marry and desert you?
You kept making all those bitter curses against the ruling family in Corinth.
And I'm a curse against your family, too.
I'm not arguing with you anymore about all this. But if you want me to provide some money, some assistance for you and the children in exile, just ask. I'm prepared to give you some, and with a generous hand. I'll send my friends introductory tokens, and so they would treat you well. You'd be mad not to accept this offer. Woman, stop being so angry. If you do, things will turn out much better for you.
I'll accept no assistance from your friends nor anything from you. Don't make the offer. Gifts from a worthless man are without value.
Right, but I call the gods to witness. I'm willing to help you and the children, but you reject my goods and stubbornly push away your friends. And for that reason, you'll suffer still more pain.
Get out of here. For someone so in love with this new bride, you're spending far too long outside her home. Go act married. The gods will see to it that your marriage changes into one of those that makes you wish you had rejected it.
My father, Tommy Henschel, God rest his soul, he would have been proud of me. What I'd done with my life. Until today. I used to play the washboard in a skiffle band, but they went to go see the Beatles Tuesday night and sacked me Wednesday morning. Ironic, because I started the Beatles. I saw them in Hamburg. Rubbish. I said to that John Lennon, I said, John, you're going nowhere, mate. It's embarrassing. Have you ever considered writing your own songs? So I'm skint. Busking, guitar, mouth organ on a rack, bass drums tied to my knees. The very definition of mental illness. Cymbals tied between my knees. So I'm in the middle of Victoria Station. I've only been playing about 10 minutes when this Ryrie bloke comes over. He says, do you do requests? I say, yes. He says, I'd like for you to play a song for my mother. I say, no problem, where is she? He says, Tasmania. So I nutted him. This little broke Roscoe Crab had seen all this and offers me a week pay in Brighton. He says he needs a bit of muscle. I tell him, this is all fat. But I needed a wage. I hadn't eaten since last night, and I don't get paid to the end of the week. And I can't stop thinking about fish and chips. I'm staying above a pub, and I don't even have enough shrapnel for a pint. This might be a discarded bag of chips in that bin over there, but Francis, stop. You can't go through the bins. Think about something boring, like Canada.
What's this pub like?
Groundbreaking, it does food.
Pub that does food? Buzz wham, whoever thought of that? Wrap his balls in bacon and send him to the nurse. What are the rooms like?
World class.
Not that I care. I'm boarding school trained. I'm happy if I've got a bed, a chair, and no one pissing on my face. Would you do me a favor and watch my trunk whilst I see if they have any vacancies?
How much?
£half-crown?
Haddocks and chips and mushy peas. Yeah, all right.
I'm looking for what they call in the army a batsman. What's a good drink for a geezer like you? For a day's graft?
My current governor, which is my previous governor, used to pay me £20 a week. That is, at the end of the week, which is no use to me.
Why not?
I have to eat every day.
I shall pay you £5 per day.
All right, Gov, you're on.
Do you know where the main post office is in Brighton?
I have absolutely no idea. Oh yeah, it's right next to my grand's.
There should be some post for me there. You'll need this letter of authorization.
To whom it may concern, the bearer is an authorized agent of Stanley Stubers.
Shh.
Who's Stanley Stubers?
Me, but don't call me that. I'll have to use a fake name for the pub.
What's wrong with the cricketer's arms?
You're not exactly a Swiss watch, are you? A false name for me because I'm lying low. What do I call you? I don't do first names. First names are for girls and Norwegians.
Angel.
Like it. Bring my trunk indoors, Henshaw. Grab my letters, Henshaw. I'll be in my room. Henshaw, have you got my letters?
Yes, Governor, they're all here.
How many? Just the one, eh?
Let's have a look. Nothing here for you, Governor.
What are those letters then?
These are decoy letters.
Decoy letters.
The post office released them like homing pigeons. They record how many find their way back and how many get shot and run over.
The truth, Henshaw, or you'll never wrestle the dolphin again.
These are Patty's letters.
Patty?
He's an old friend of mine. He was collecting his boss's letters. He hadn't had lunch yet, so I told him that I would take them while he was off having haddock and chips and mushy peas.
This letter's from my intended, Rachel Crabb.
You can't open other people's letters.
Why not?
It's a very deep human thing that's very basic and doesn't need explaining.
At boarding school, we opened each other's post all the time.
Yes, but you also held masturbation relay races, which is not normal either.
No?
No.
Felt pretty good at the time. The letter's from Jackie, Rachel's best friend. Dear Rachel, the police knew you fled to Brighton dressed as a man, so the evening news carried an honest impression of what you might look like disguised as a man. You ended up looking a bit like Ringo Starr, who's already been arrested twice. Rachel, my beloved, is in Brighton dressed as the percussionist of a popular beat combo. They also carried a boxing photo of Stanley. Hey, that's me. It's so awful that you have to go to Australia. Love, Jackie. 3 kisses. 3 kisses? That's a bit girls only Greek island. Henshaw, have you met Paddy's boss?
No.
Find Paddy. Tell him to tell his employer that I'm staying here.
I'll look for Paddy after lunch.
No. Now. It's a matter of life and death.
Has anyone got a sandwich? York ham? Cheese? Anyone?